Hello, Tibetan language learners. Today, let's read a contemporary essay written by Lhashamgyal. Lhashamgyal was born in Tibet and is now living in Beijing. And in this essay, Tibetans of Beijing, he relates his personal experiences as a Tibetan living in Beijing, where he feels exiled and lonely. And there are also a lot of elements of Tibetan culture and history weaved into this essay. Lhashamgyal is also the 5 times recipient of a Tibetan Literature Award, so this essay should have a very high literary quality. I'm using a translation by Kati Fitzgerald, who is a PhD student in Ohio University. We're going to read the English translation first. And we'll start with the first paragraph. I think it's less intimidating if we have a general sense of the meaning before we launch into the Tibetan. So let's read it. It is the year 1264, and Sakya Pakpa Lodri Getsen has arrived in Beijing. Then Beijing was not yet called Beijing, but rather Tatu. I believe that in Tibetan, it was mostly referred to as the northern capital. At the time, battalions of cavalrymen were flooding down from the vast northern grasslands like boulders rolling down a mountain, trampling all of the Asian continent under their hooves. Through the valiant maneuvers of the high cheekboned and broad foreheaded Mongolian troops, a vast area of linguistically and ethnically diverse people was consolidated. I am speaking of the time when we were under this power. So in this first paragraph, the author is making a historical connection with Shakya Pakpa, who was a very important Tibetan uh, who was invited to Beijing, and who was invited to Beijing under the command of the Kublai Khan. But here the author makes a mistake, 1264, but in truth, Shaka Pakpa, he arrived in Beijing some 10 years earlier. Anyway, so this passage is even a little bit difficult to read in English. So now let's see how it is like in Tibetan. We're going to read it sentence by sentence. Start with Tibetan. Chilo, Jikdong Nigya, Chupchure Shi Lor, Sagyawa Pakpa Lopche Gelten Beijing Tu Lep. It is the year 1264 and Shakya Pakpa Lopche Gelten has arrived in Beijing. Qi Lo, Western year, Qi Western Lo year, 1264. Jikdong Nigya Chukjure Shi, Lord in the year. Sagya, so this whole next trunk is his name. Sagyawa Pakpa Lord Tu Geltsen. And Tibetan name is rich in meanings, so let's break it down and we can learn some new vocabulary by the way. Sakya, as you know, is one of the 4 Tibetan Buddhist sects. Literally means the white land. Sa, land, Gya, as in Gya Po, white. Sakya is the people of the Sakya clan. Pakpa, superior, noble, Arya. Lo Che, law is mind, Che is advice. Together it means intelligent. I guess the mind worthy of giving advice is intelligent. Gyel Tsen. Gyel is victory, as in colloquial Tibetan, as in Gyel Ka, or Gyel Wa, the victorious one, as in the honorific name for Dalai Lama, Gyel Wa Rinpoche, the precious victorious one. Tem means name, sign, mark, badge. So Gyalten means something that signal, that symbolize, that announce the victory. And you can translate it as victory banner. Next in sentence, Beijing Tu in Beijing, lab arrived. Okay, let's read the sentence again. 西洛基东尼亚处住人西洛萨加瓦帕巴罗布特给称北京图 lab. You just know the first sentence, and let's continue. Tattoo at the that's really incomplete first. Tattoo 北京啦，北京图名片吧，打兔如 peut 벽에 la peltier gelsa chemo serwa minamnyang. So then Beijing was not yet called Beijing, but rather Tatu. I believe that in Tibetan, it was mostly referred to as the northern capital. Tetu at the time, Beijing la. As for Beijing, Beijing Tu, here refers to the name of Beijing. Ming Bar, that is like it's not called. Pe call, sorry, be called. Here we can make a grammar point by pointing out that la and tu, they are both Latin particle that is usually attached to place. But here it has a, usually we think of them as interchangeable, but here the other uses two different Latin particles for the same word. So here it kind of shows that even though they are both Latin particle, interchangeable, but they have a subtle difference in meaning. So let's carry on. But when you see but, it tells you that the previous sentence is converted into a trunk, converted into a subordinate clause, and prepare or linking it with the next sentence. Tattoo, the name of tattoo, peut it's called tattoo. Te, it means that. So when you see that, it tells you that what comes before that must be a subject of a new sentence that is coming up. So this so-called place, this so-called tattoo place, Pögetu in Tibetan, Peltier, usually, generally, Gelsa, capital, Chenmo, great capital, Gelsa Chenmo, the great capital. So the translator may have made a mistake by translating it as northern capital, but it's better to say the great capital. Gelsa Chenmo Serwa, the so-called that is called the Gelsa Chenmo. Min na nyang. Min is not, the negation is not. Nam is a question particle, so here it is it not? Nyam is think. So it's very idiomatic. So it is like saying, I think, is it not? Or I wonder, is it not? So the entire sentence goes, I wonder, in Tibetan, is it not generally called the great capital? Here, the minam nya, since it's in negation, it kind of expresses the uncertainty of the author. Okay, let's read the entire paragraph again. Chilo chikdong ni ya chukju re shi lor sagya wa pakba lo chue ge chen ba le Beijing tu lep. Tetu Beijing la Beijing tu min be bar da du ru peut 벽에 두 벨치엘 기엘사 체모 serwa minamnyang. Next sentence. At the time, battalions of cavalrymen were flooding down from the vast northern grasslands like boulders rolling down a mountain, trampling all of the Asian continent under their hoofs. Okay, where's my cursor? Okay. Let's read it sentence by sentence. So the first sentence is, at the time, from the vast northern grassland, Tetu Changchokgi Tazang Kopyang Satene. At the time, Changchok. Chang is north, chok as in direction, Kachok. Changchok ki northern. Zatang, the grassland. Kop, Kop is limit, frontier. Yang is vast. Together is vast. Kopyang. Kopyang sa, the vast land. Tene, from that. So this trunk means from that vast land that is the northern grassland at a time. Okay. Next part. Risar babdo xing qi yong wei yamaki bonsok te. Okay, let's stop there. When you see this word xing, it means whatever comes before is a metaphor. Xing means like. Risar babdo, the rock rolling down a steep mountain, or it is a common metaphor for irreversibility. Ri, mountain, as you know. Sar, as in sarpo, steep, the steep mountains. Bab, fall, roll down. Do, the stone. Qi yong wei. Qi is the verb here. Qi translated as gather, accumulate, unify, but it is more appropriately translated as roll or twist up together, fall in a spiral. So here it is lost in the translation in English, because it's not only gather or accumulated in a as in English, but there's also a sense of movement in it. So the second translation, the second line, is a more appropriate translation. Like it's gathering in a downward movement. It's kind of chaotic. So qi yong, yong, as you may know, yong or zhuo, when it's attached to a verb, it reinforces the sense of dynamics, the sense of direction of the verb. So qi yong wei Gyamak. Gyama is cavalry. Gya doesn't mean horse. Horse is usually da. But I think Gya here might be an alternative way of writing for Gyap, means back, as in Da Gyap, the horseback. So the soldiers on the horseback is cavalry. So Gyamak. Mak is, I think in colloquial Tibetan, we say Bom Mak, army. And when Mak is combined with other word, it can refer to different kind of soldiers, different kind of army. Gyang Mak, infantry or foot soldiers. Cho Mak, the navy. Okay, so that's some new vocabulary for you. Gyang cavalry ki. Bongchok. Bongchok means troop. So the troops of cavalry. Te, when you see te, especially when you see the sa here, which is a agentive marker, you know that what comes before is a subject. Okay, ya a sha ye. Ye sha ya is Asia. Asian gamsa. Gamsa means dry land. Gam as in gambo. But here Gamsa also means continent. Chembo, the great continent of Asia. Mik, hooves. Ok, below. Tu, Latin particle. So below the hoofs. Z, trample. Ne, and Rinzang, for some time, which translator didn't translate in English. Qing, the past tense for went. Yue, it's I forgot what is this grammar particle. Here I want to say that, like, usually, as you may know, that in classical Tibetan you can just end a sentence on a verb. So technically you don't need yue as in a colloquial Tibetan, but when you see 乐, according to my Tibetan teacher, so now 乐 it adds a sense of ongoingness to the verb. So it's not required, but it adds a nuance of meaning. 经 and. So that's for the next sentence. So let's read the entire sentence again. Now that you know the meaning. 대투 장촉기 사탕 코비앙 사테네 리 sarpap do 신 치용외 꺄마키 봉촉테 에샤예 감사 첨보 미국도 진해 린장 칭유 진.
Let's attack the next sentence. Through the valiant maneuvers of the high cheekbone and broad foreheaded Mongolian troops, Kurko Tola, Chelwe, Yechewe, Sokmaki, Dulpe, Chenbe, Takjugi. Let's stop here. When you see gi, it means that what comes before is either a subject or something by the means of. Here the translator translated as through. So through what? Through takju. Takju means wrathful, fierce behavior. Tak as in takbo, wrathful, fierce. Ju as in jueba, practice or behavior. When it takes this second meaning, practice, sometimes it comes with this phrase, dazhi, theory and practice. Lamas might tell you to learn the theory and practice. So dazhi, two components of Tibetan Buddhism, of Buddhist practice that need to be balanced, and dazhi. So that's the vocabulary. And let's return to the sentence. So what kind of ferocious behavior? It is the dulpe, qianbu kind of behavior. Dulpe means bravery. Qianbo means great bravery. Or colloquially, you can say someone is brave by saying babo, babo. And in this word, and in the second letter, b, it's also a part of a very common idiomatic expression to say someone is brave enough or dare to do something. For example, do dare to go, 绝推拜读给 draw推拜读给 so a verb plus 推拜. Returning to the sentence. So the brave, ferocious behavior of what? Of whom? It's of Sokmak. Sokma, Mongolian troops, Mongolian army. Sok, as in Sokbo, Mongol, or Sokul, Mongolia. So it is through the brave, ferocious maneuvers of the Mongolian army. And then this first part of the sentences is to modify the Mongolian army, Sokmak. Kurgo means cheekbones. Colloquially, cheek is kurtse, cheeks. And go means head. So the head of the cheeks is cheekbones. Kurgo tola, the high cheekbones. Here la means end rather than Latin particle. Chelwe yechewa. Chelwa means forehead. Chelwa yechewa, wide, vast. So wide, broad forehead. And here it is interesting that this adjective vast comes after the forehead. It is a bit unconventional. But in the dictionary, I can find this phrase just in itself. So maybe we can think of it as a set phrase to say a vast forehead. So this sentence means that the Mongolian army or with high cheekbones and wide forehead, and through the army's brave and ferocious maneuvers. Okay, you got it. And now let's read this in Tibetan again. Kurgo tola chelwe yechewe sokmaki tulpe chenpe chakjogi. Next sentence. Let's read it in English first. A vast area of linguistically and ethnically diverse people was consolidated. Ngotsuktan Gerik Minjikbe Minang Ga Yongsu Komparchete. Ngotsuk means let me go to the next slide. Ngotsuk means ethnicity, but literally means face, honorific term for face. Ngotsuk means shape or form, so the shape of face is ethnicity. So I guess for Tibetans or for Asians in general, it is often more the shape of the face rather than the color of the face that differentiate the ethnicity. But for saying ethnicity in colloquial Tibetan, you can say milik. And so the ethnicity and Ge language, Rik type, Minjik, not one or diverse. So diverse types of language and ethnicity. Minam, the people. Nam is the plural marker, so a lot of people. So the people of different ethnicity and the language. And this last part is kind of tricky. Ga Yongsu Kombarche. We can translate it, this whole trunk as subjugate or consolidate. Let's break it down. Ga, according to my Tibetan language, Tibetan teacher, Sonam, this might be short for Ga Yue, conscientiousness or vigilance. And the Ga Komba means timid or afraid. So, and the Ga Kombarche, make someone timid and afraid, that means subjugate. And let's read this sentence again. Kurko toda chelwe yechewe sokmaki tulpe chenpe takjogi ngotsuktan gerik minjikbe minang ga yongsu kombarchete. Ted here just means end, connecting two sentences. Okay, the last sentence of this paragraph. I'm speaking of the time when we were under this power. 第 1 octu du yebarge. Gay, speaking of what? And this one, as in one check, power, octu, under, so under this power, and du yue, du, here, that's the verb. Here, du has several meanings. Here it takes the meaning of subsumed under, so subsumed under this power. But I also want to talk about the other two meanings of du. Du can also mean concentrated, gathered, collected. And you can see this du especially in the title of the subject or books in the Tibetan monastery. For the first few years, the Tibetan monks then may need to read du ka, so collected topics. Often it's about logics, so du ka. It also means abridged or summarized. Du na, in short, in summary. It is a very colloquial expression, so you can use it in everyday life. Du na, in short, to put it shortly. And du yue, I want to comment on this yue as well. As you know, in the classical Tibetan, you can I think I just talked about this. Here, you don't need it, but it adds a sense of ongoingness to the verb. So the being subsumed under this great power. Okay, so you nailed everything in this paragraph. And that right now, let's read this entire paragraph again in Tibetan. And let's listen to the recording of the Tibetan by the author himself.
Okay, so I'm gonna play 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Beijing Jipeba, Sombapol, Lhashamgyal.
Start here.
Chilo Chitong Ninja to Kirishilur, Sajawa, Papa Lodi Jensen, Beijing the Lep. They do Beijing La, Beijing the Member, Tatu Rumbede, Bergedo, Pikil, Gersashimo Serami Namia. They do Jiangchoji, Zatang, Korean Satini, Research Babdu Shinto Yowe, Jamagi, Pungchoti. Ishe Gamsa Chimbo, Miut Jini Ring Zamchin Yujin. Kurgo Tola, Dalwi Ikewe, Somaki, Drupu Kimbu Jakuki. Motsudan, Kirim Magic Menam, by Yonsu Comparchete, the one to do parquet.
Okay, that's it. And now let's read it together for the one last time. You can lower my voice, so maybe you can practice yourself, or we can do this together. Okay, let's start. Chiro chikdong nikya chujure shilor sagawa pakpa dotre yelsen Beijing tu lep. Tetu Beijing la Beijing tu minbebar tatu ru pete pegetu peltier gelsa chemo serwa minamya. Tetu 참초기 자탕 컵양수 대내 리스 sarpapto 신 질용외 까마키 봉촉 대 에샤예 감사 첨보 미국투 지네 린장 칭유진 쿠르코 톨라 젤웨 예체웨 속마키 띨페 챔페 작주기 원속탕 게릭 민직배 민남 가용수 콤바체테 대 왕옥투 두 유바르게. So now you nailed the first paragraph, and I want to thank you for taking the patience to learn this very difficult passage together. And in time, we're going to upload the second tutorial. So see you next time.